Hey everyone, this is Joey Blight, and today I am doing a review for Horizon Zero Dawn. So this game's pretty popular, AAA title from Guerrilla Games, the people that did Killzone. I'm not sure if it's the same team, but it is the same company. From what I've heard on the internet, they are using the same engine that Kojima is using for his new game, which is good because the Killzone engine was very clunky and slow, and that's not in this game. This game feels a lot smoother. The button layout is kind of weird. I've jumped off plenty of cliffs and killed myself, especially in the beginning, but it just takes some getting used to, like any game. I mean, probably illegal to copy an exact layout, so you gotta do what you gotta do. So to start, hardest thing is just get through the tutorial. It's gonna take about 45 minutes, but after that it's tons better. It just starts out really slow. Some of the longest cutscenes will be in the beginning, and you start as the childhood of the main character. And I gotta say, the beginning is pretty slow and boring. What's weird though is they must have used the same motion capture and proportions for the main character's head as the adult and as the child figure, because the head looks too freaking huge for this character. And I just couldn't get over it. That like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the childhood scene. This huge head on this little girl is just weird. But it gets better. It looks normal when she's an adult. Some of the good things. If you've played Assassin's Creed, you're going to feel right at home. So if you liked Assassin's Creed, you're also going to like this game. It's very heavy stealth based. There's some moments that it forces you into the front line of the action, but most of the time, stealth is the way to go, especially the few hours I played in the beginning. A stealth attack was always in one hit kill. Wasn't that hard to do it. Anyone that has played Vanquish, and if you liked that game, you're also probably going to like this game, because a lot of the action with the bow is very similar to that. You can slide around and draw your bow back, it slows down time, some cool little things like that. So very heavy stealth, very heavy bow usage. Resource gathering is not too bad. It takes a lot of the gathering from like Far Cry, where you go out, you kill like a boar or a fox or whatever, and you need their skin or their meat to upgrade your capacity for ammo, resource collection, you name it. As mentioned before, though, the resource collection isn't as bad as Ghost Recon Wildlands, where it literally takes like half a second to collect the resources in this game. Wildlands, for whatever reason, took like 5 seconds to collect 50 resources. The loot system in this game is pretty cool. It ranges like most dungeon crawlers from white loot to blue, green, and purple. And there's probably some ultra gear at the end. Going back to how it's like Assassin's Creed, this big beast, which you can't actually attack or damage, is the tall neck. And relating it into Assassin's Creed, it's exactly like the watchtowers where you have to climb up the huge thing, do the eagle flight around it, and you get some of the map revealed. This is just like that. You have to find out how to climb on top of the tall neck, and then you plug into it and you can see the whole map. That's kind of a good and bad thing. You know, there's only 5 of them, so unlike Assassin's Creed, you're not going to be doing it 50 times, but it would also be cool to try and kill this thing. The difficulty is somewhat balanced. I started on normal and found that anything out in the open world is just too easy to kill. As mentioned, stealth kills are all one-hit kills, does massive damage, except for the bigger monsters. But throughout the story, the segments where it forces me into open combat, that's where the difficulty really hit me because I didn't have that stealth to start with. I had to actually use some strategy and skill to try and defeat the enemies. The map is really big, and you can't even zoom all the way out to get the entire map on the screen. And it looks like there's 5 big dominant regions, and that's what the little tall neck symbol represents. The difficulty is essentially just adding more health to the monsters or you doing less damage. They don't act faster and there's not more of them. So currently I've changed the settings to very hard and it still feels pretty easy. Gameplay value I think is going to be huge on this game. I was able to spend the first 3 hours in just this little teeny valley that you start in. There was only 3 or 4 missions in it, and it took a lot of time to go around, collect all the stuff. The missions were longer because it sent you from one side of the zone to the other, but I wouldn't say that's so bad. You are able to collect a mount and use somewhat like a horse to roam the world. Fast travel actually takes a resource, which is kind of easy to make, but it's one way to stop you from just fast traveling to every little spot. The save points, there's plenty of save points everywhere though. You can quick save, it takes about 3 seconds, and then you're on your way. One of the bad things I think about this game, the story is a little lacking. It's full of cliches, it's very predictable, it's not really anything new. It's not a bad story, but it's definitely not something that's going to be new and interesting. Sometimes you might notice this purple sphere that comes out, and what happens is it's like an x-ray vision. You can see through the ground and trees and everything, and it highlights all the creatures and living animals around you. If you put the target over a machine, it'll highlight the weak points, give some weaknesses on what element to use to attack them. You can also use this purple thing to track the paths of like the watching monsters, and it'll show their little route of what they take. So you can lay down booby traps or just ways to avoid them. The machine variety looks somewhat small. There was only 2 rows in the bestiary, so probably 3 or 4 new machines on each region, and that could also include bosses and whatnot. The skill tree is kind of bleh. A lot of the things in the first row are kind of, yeah, go for it. The ones with the question marks, I got the first one, didn't let me see what the next one is, so looks like that's going to be story related. There's the resource improvements, healing improvements, damage improvements. The ones I was going for was like the stealth and critical hits, and there's a couple slowdown time ones, but nothing like ultra spectacular. So, what I would say about this game overall is if you played Assassin's Creed, I would definitely buy it. Otherwise, it's still a good game, but you may want to rent it first. I have a feeling it's going to get boring pretty quick, but I also get bored with a lot of things really quick. But if I was going to put on a scale, it'd be between a 6 and a 7. Nowhere near perfect, but it's definitely not a bad game. So, thank you all for watching. This was Joy Blight. Don't forget to put a comment down below on what you want to see next, and I'll see you around sometime.